Summary and Case Study of How to Be a Genius or the Science of Being Great by Wallace D. Wattles. Short summary. Wallace D. Wattles' 1911 book, How to Be a Genius or the Science of Being Great, presents a philosophy that emphasizes the inherent potential for greatness in every individual. Wattles argues that through a conscious understanding of the principle of power within, individuals can achieve self-activity, overcome limitations imposed by heredity and circumstances, and cultivate a deep connection with the universal mind. This connection allows for the perception of truth, the development of wisdom, and the attainment of personal greatness. Ultimately, Wattles' work encourages readers to embrace a higher viewpoint, a commitment to personal growth, and a profound faith in their own inner guidance to achieve a fulfilling and extraordinary life. Introduction. Wattles emphasizes that anyone can achieve greatness. The text asserts that there is a principle of power within every person, enabling them to develop their mental faculties and grow without limits. Genius is defined as omniscience flowing into man, a union of man and God in the soul's actions. This principle allows individuals to grow in any direction they choose, implying that anyone has the potential for greatness. Chapter 1. Any person may become great. In the heart of every human being, hidden beneath layers of everyday life, lies a powerful principle waiting to be ignited. This principle is the key to unlocking the potential for greatness that resides within us all. This is not merely a possibility reserved for a chosen few, it is a birthright, an inherent capability that can be cultivated and expressed in a myriad of ways. Imagine for a moment a world where everyone embraces this truth, where the seemingly ordinary individual recognizes the extraordinary potential within. The timid shopkeeper, the quiet farmer, the unassuming teacher, each possesses the same spark of genius that ignited the minds of history's greatest figures. This inherent power is not a fixed quality, it is a dynamic force that can be cultivated and directed towards the development of mental faculties and the realization of one's true potential. Wattles draws a clear distinction between mere talent and true genius. Talent might be likened to a single instrument in an orchestra, capable of producing beautiful sounds but limited in its range of expression. Genius, on the other hand, is the entire orchestra playing in perfect harmony. It is the union of the individual with a higher power, a connection experienced through the soul that allows for a more profound and holistic expression of greatness. The human capacity for growth, unlike that of plants and animals, knows no bounds. While a tree might grow tall and strong, its growth is ultimately limited by its inherent nature. Humans, however, possess the unique ability to consciously direct their growth, to expand their mental and spiritual horizons without limit. To cease growing is to stagnate, to deny the very essence of what it means to be human. This journey of growth is not a linear progression, but a vibrant tapestry woven with the threads of individual expression. Think of a garden filled with bulbs, each seemingly identical beneath the surface. As they sprout and bloom, a dazzling array of colors and shapes emerges. So it is with humans. While we all share the same potential for greatness, the expression of that greatness will manifest uniquely in each individual. Wattles urges us to abandon the limiting belief that greatness is reserved for a select few. The cracker box loafer and the village drunkard, often dismissed as ordinary, possess the same inherent power that can propel them to acts of heroism and leadership in times of crisis. The quiet individual who offers wise counsel in times of trouble demonstrates greatness in their everyday life. Wattles emphasizes that the principle of power within responds to our desires and aspirations. To limit ourselves by undertaking only small things is to stifle the flow of this power. He encourages us to aim high, to set our sights on great endeavors, assuring us that the power within will rise to meet the challenge. The key to unlocking this power lies in becoming self-active rather than reactive. The reactive individual, like a football, merely responds to external forces. The self-active individual, on the other hand, is like a flowing spring, radiating force from within. Every life experience, no matter how challenging, is an opportunity to move towards self-activity, to take control of one's life rather than being controlled by circumstance. Wattles concludes with a powerful message of hope and empowerment. The power to achieve greatness is not dependent on external factors such as heredity or circumstance. It resides within each and every one of us, waiting to be awakened and directed towards the realization of our full potential. The journey towards greatness begins with the recognition of this truth and the commitment to cultivate the spark of genius within. Chapter 2, Heredity and Opportunity. Wattles tackles two seemingly insurmountable obstacles on the path to greatness. It challenges the notion that our destinies are predetermined by the circumstances of our birth or the limitations imposed by our environment. Wattles argues that the power within each individual transcends these external factors, empowering us to overcome any perceived disadvantage and shape our own destinies. Imagine a world where individuals are not bound by the shackles of their ancestry or the confines of their social standing. Wattles encourages us to shed the limiting belief that we inherit a fixed mental capacity or that our potential is determined by the circumstances of our birth. He argues that even those with seemingly unfavorable inherited tendencies, such as melancholy or cowardice, can overcome these limitations through conscious effort and self-development. Wattles acknowledges the influence of heredity, particularly in the realm of subconscious mental tendencies, but he emphasizes that these are not immutable. He compares inherited mental traits to habits of thought impressed upon the subconscious mind, suggesting that these habits can be broken and replaced with more desirable ones. For example, a tendency toward despondency can be overcome by cultivating a habit of cheerfulness. He further addresses the argument that cranial formation, as studied in phrenology, might predetermine an individual's potential. While acknowledging the localization of faculties within the brain, Wattles contends that even individuals with smaller brain sections dedicated to specific faculties can develop those faculties through the focused application of willpower and the principle of power. He suggests that by directing mental energy towards a particular talent, individuals can stimulate the growth of brain cells and enhance the power of that faculty. Wattles extends this empowering message to the realm of opportunity. He refutes the notion that individuals are condemned to lower levels of achievement due to a lack of opportunity. He argues that the principle of power within us is sufficient to overcome any external obstacle. When an individual awakens their soul and sets their sights on advancement, not only is God for him, but nature, society, and his fellow men are for him also. Wattles supports his argument with examples of individuals who rose to greatness despite facing poverty and adversity. Martin Luther, the great reformer, sang in the streets for bread as a child. The renowned naturalist Linnaeus had limited resources for his education. Hugh Miller, a stonemason, pursued his passion for geology while working in a quarry. These individuals, and countless others like them, demonstrate that the principle of power can overcome any external limitation. Wattles concludes with a resounding message of hope and empowerment. It encourages us to break free from the self-imposed limitations of inherited tendencies and perceived lack of opportunity. The power within us is far greater than any external obstacle. By embracing this truth and directing our mental energy towards our goals, we can achieve anything we set our minds to. Chapter 3, The Source of Power. Wattles shifts the focus from external limitations to the internal source of true greatness. Wattles argues that greatness is not merely a product of intellect or talent, but rather a manifestation of wisdom. He posits that wisdom, the ability to discern the right ends and the right means to achieve those ends, is the true foundation of power and the key to unlocking the potential for greatness within each individual. Imagine a world where wisdom, not brute force or cunning, guides human actions. Wattles suggests that a truly great person possesses not only the knowledge of the right thing to do but also the desire and the ability to act upon that knowledge. He illustrates this concept through the example of Abraham Lincoln, whose wisdom was evident in his ability to perceive truth amidst the tumultuous political landscape of his time. Lincoln, despite his limited formal education, possessed an uncanny ability to see through superficial arguments and discern the right course of action. He recognized the impracticality of both the pro-slavery advocates and the radical abolitionists, navigating a complex political landscape with clarity and purpose. This ability to perceive truth, Wattles argues, was the source of Lincoln's greatness. Wattles goes on to explain that true wisdom is not solely a product of individual intellect but rather a result of connecting with a higher source of knowledge, the mind of God. He posits that God, as the intelligent substance from which all things proceed, possesses infinite wisdom and that humans can access this wisdom through inspiration. This concept echoes the message of Chapter 1, which emphasizes the union of the individual with a higher power as a hallmark of genius. Wattles suggests that by aligning ourselves with the mind of God, we can tap into a limitless reservoir of wisdom and power. He uses the examples of Washington and Napoleon, both of whom displayed remarkable wisdom in their respective fields. Wattles suggests that their greatness was not solely a product of their individual abilities but rather a manifestation of their connection with a higher intelligence. He argues that all truly great men and women throughout history have demonstrated this ability to perceive truth, drawing wisdom from a source beyond their limited human understanding. Wattles further develops this idea in the subsequent chapter, The Mind of God, where he explains that God, as the intelligent substance pervading all things, possesses infinite knowledge and understanding. He suggests that nature itself is an expression of God's intelligence and that humans, as part of nature, can access this intelligence through conscious effort. Wattles emphasizes that God is not a distant entity but rather an omnipresent intelligence that surrounds and permeates us. He draws upon the teachings of Jesus, who repeatedly emphasized his unity with the Father as the source of his wisdom and power. Jesus' statement, "My Father and I are one," illustrates the concept of connecting with the mind of God to access infinite wisdom. Wattles concludes by encouraging readers to actively seek this connection with the mind of God. Wattles suggests that by aligning ourselves with the highest source of wisdom, we can unlock our full potential for greatness. He calls upon readers to cultivate a deep and abiding faith in this connection, assuring them that by doing so they will gain access to the limitless wisdom and power that reside within. Chapter 4, The Mind of God. Wattles expands upon the concept introduced in the previous chapter, exploring the nature of God as the intelligent substance pervading all things. Wattles invites us to consider a universe imbued with a cosmic intelligence, a mind stuff that gives rise to all things and connects us all in a profound and awe-inspiring way. This chapter challenges the traditional notion of God as a distant entity, presenting instead a vision of God as an omnipresent consciousness that is intimately involved in every aspect of creation. Imagine a world where the wonders of nature are not merely the result of blind chance but rather the expressions of a divine intelligence that permeates all things. Wattles suggests that this cosmic intelligence, which he equates with God, is not merely a force but a conscious and thinking substance. He argues that thought cannot exist without a substance that thinks, just as motion cannot occur without something that moves. He refutes the notion that thought is merely a function of the brain, arguing that the brain itself is simply an instrument through which the thinking substance, the true self or soul, expresses itself. Just as the human spirit permeates and animates the physical body, so too does the Spirit of God permeate and animate all of nature. Wattles posits that this cosmic mind, the mind of God, possesses infinite knowledge and understanding. It has witnessed and experienced everything that has ever occurred, from the grandest cosmic events to the smallest details of life. He suggests that this infinite mind contains within it the memory of all that has been, the awareness of all that is, and the knowledge of all that will be. He compares this vast cosmic knowledge to the limited and fragmented knowledge contained in human encyclopedias, suggesting that even the most comprehensive human knowledge pales in comparison to the infinite wisdom held within the mind of God. He further argues that the truths that humans perceive through inspiration are in fact thoughts held within this cosmic mind, accessed through a connection with the divine consciousness. Wattles draws upon the teachings of Jesus, who repeatedly emphasized his unity with the Father as the source of his wisdom and power. Jesus' statement, "My Father and I are one," encapsulates the idea of connecting with the mind of God to access infinite wisdom and power. Wattles suggests that Jesus' ability to perform miracles stemmed from his ability to read the thoughts of God, to perceive the underlying truth and harmony of the universe and to act in accordance with that truth. Wattles echoes the core message of the book, that greatness is not a quality reserved for a select few but rather a potential inherent in all beings. By consciously connecting with the mind of God, by aligning ourselves with the cosmic intelligence that permeates all things, we can tap into this limitless reservoir of wisdom and power. We can become more than just reactive beings, buffeted by the forces of circumstance. we can become active agents of creation, shaping our lives and our world in accordance with the divine will. Wattles concludes this chapter with a powerful call to action. He urges readers to actively seek this connection with the mind of God, to cultivate a conscious awareness of the divine presence within and around them. He suggests that by doing so, we can transcend our limitations and tap into the infinite potential that resides within each and every one of us. Chapter 5. Preparation. Wattles outlines the essential steps an individual must take to prepare themselves for the manifestation of greatness. This chapter acts as a bridge between the theoretical foundation laid in the previous chapters and the practical application outlined in the subsequent chapters. It emphasizes that the journey towards greatness is not a passive endeavor but rather an active process of aligning oneself with the divine principles outlined in the book. Imagine standing at the foot of a mountain, ready to embark on a challenging but rewarding climb. Chapter 5 provides the essential gear and guidance for this ascent, equipping the individual with the mental and moral fortitude needed to navigate the path ahead. The first and foremost step in this preparation, Wattles argues, is to cultivate an unwavering faith in the principles outlined in the book. Just as faith is essential for pleasing God, so too is it crucial for achieving greatness. This faith, however, is not a blind belief in oneself or one's abilities but rather a deep and abiding trust in the underlying principles of the universe, the laws that govern success and the inherent power of the soul. Wattles emphasizes the importance of overcoming anxiety, worry, and fear, recognizing that these negative emotions cloud judgment and hinder the perception of truth. He acknowledges that individuals may face various challenges, including financial difficulties, health concerns, or moral dilemmas, and encourages them to address these issues directly. He recommends seeking solutions through practical means, such as studying the principles of financial success outlined in his previous work, The Science of Getting Rich, or by applying the laws of health to overcome physical ailments. He further emphasizes the importance of moral purity, arguing that individuals must rise above base desires and selfish motives if they are to achieve true greatness. He calls upon readers to abandon lust, gluttony, greed, pride, vanity, envy, and malice, recognizing that these negative qualities create a barrier between the individual and the divine source of power. Wattles stresses the importance of replacing these negative qualities with positive ones, such as justice, generosity, courtesy, kindness, and love. He urges readers to live in a great way, expressing these positive qualities in all their interactions, both within their homes and in their broader social circles. He further emphasizes the importance of obedience to the soul, recognizing that the soul is the divine spark within each individual that guides us towards the highest good. He urges readers to surrender to this inner guidance, to trust their intuition and to act in accordance with their highest ideals. How to practice. 1. Cultivate unwavering faith in the principles of the universe and the power of your soul. Spend time reflecting on the ideas presented in the book and seek evidence of these principles in your own life and in the world around you. 2. Address any financial, health, or moral challenges you may be facing. Seek practical solutions and apply the principles of success and well-being to your life. 3. Consciously cultivate positive qualities such as justice, generosity, kindness, courtesy, and love. Express these qualities in your actions and interactions with others. 4. Practice obedience to your soul. Listen to your intuition, trust your inner guidance, and act in accordance with your highest ideals. 5. Make a conscious effort to replace negative thoughts and habits with positive ones. Pay attention to your thought patterns and make a deliberate effort to shift your focus towards the good, the beautiful, and the true. By following these steps, you can create a solid foundation for the manifestation of greatness in your life. Chapter 6. The Social Point of View. Wattles encourages a paradigm shift in how we perceive the world around us. Wattles asserts that to achieve true greatness, one must adopt a perspective that recognizes the inherent perfection in the unfolding of the universe, society, and individual lives. This chapter challenges us to move beyond the common tendency to see flaws and imperfections, urging us to instead embrace a vision of inherent goodness and ongoing progress. Imagine shifting your lens from a focus on societal shortcomings to an appreciation for the intricate and ever-evolving tapestry of human progress. Wattles suggests that much like the natural world, which has evolved from simple organisms to complex life forms over millennia, society too is on a trajectory of continuous advancement. He argues that the apparent ills of society, trusts, strikes, lockouts, poverty, and vice, are not inherently evil but rather represent necessary stages in the ongoing evolution of humankind. He uses the analogy of a ship navigating uncharted waters. The ship may encounter rough seas and turbulent storms, yet it remains a perfectly functional vessel, steadily progressing toward its destination. Similarly, the challenges and disharmonies we observe in society are not indicative of a broken or flawed system but rather represent the inevitable growing pains of a world striving towards greater harmony and completeness. Wattles challenges the notion of labeling certain societal elements, such as child labor or saloons, as inherently evil. He argues that these phenomena are products of the prevailing consciousness of the time and will naturally disappear as humanity evolves towards a higher understanding. He asserts that the solution to these issues lies not in external reforms but rather in the inner transformation of individuals. As people awaken to a higher moral and spiritual awareness, they will naturally create a society that reflects these values. He highlights the importance of adopting a perspective of faith and hope, seeing the world not as a decaying entity but as a continually evolving and improving creation. Wattles argues that this optimistic outlook fosters an expansive and empowering mindset, enabling us to contribute to the completion of society rather than focusing on fixing its perceived flaws. He extends this perspective to our view of individuals, urging us to see every person, regardless of their outward appearance or behavior, as a perfect being in their stage of development. Just as an engine remains a perfectly good engine even when it is off the tracks, so too are people inherently good, even when their actions may seem misguided. Wattles emphasizes that adopting this perspective eliminates judgment, criticism, and condemnation, enabling us to interact with others in a more compassionate and understanding way. This shift in perspective fosters a belief in the inherent goodness and potential of humanity, encouraging us to approach every interaction with kindness, respect, and a belief in the possibility of growth and transformation. Chapter 7: The Individual Point of View. Wattles encourages a profound shift in perspective, urging us to see ourselves and others not as flawed mortals but as divine beings in the process of becoming. Building on the foundation laid in the previous chapters, which emphasized the perfection of the unfolding universe and the inherent goodness of society, this chapter focuses on the individual, highlighting the divine spark within each person and the unlimited potential that resides within us. Imagine gazing into a mirror and seeing not just your physical reflection but the radiant essence of divinity that animates your being. This is the essence of Chapter 7. Wattles asserts that we are not separate from God but rather extensions of the divine, each possessing the same essential powers and possibilities. He reminds us that greatness is equally inherent in all and may be manifested by all, urging us to embrace this truth and to live accordingly. He argues that our limitations and shortcomings are not inherent flaws but rather the result of our limited awareness of our true nature. Just as a seed contains within it the potential for a mighty oak, so too does each individual possess within themselves the seeds of greatness, waiting to be nurtured and brought to fruition. Wattles acknowledges that we may have inherited certain tendencies or been conditioned by our environments, but he emphasizes that we have the power to overcome these limitations by exercising the inherent creative power of the soul. He reminds us that man may overcome both heredity and circumstances by exercising the inherent creative power of the soul. He further emphasizes the importance of aligning our thoughts and actions with our highest ideals, arguing that true greatness can only be achieved through a commitment to living a life of purpose and integrity. He urges us to forsake every course of action that is not in accord with his highest ideals, recognizing that every compromise we make on this point diminishes our power and hinders our progress. Wattles emphasizes the importance of cultivating a positive self-image, urging us to see ourselves not as flawed or limited beings but as expressions of the divine, perfect in our stage of development and continuously evolving toward completeness. He encourages us to adopt affirmations such as "I am a perfect manifestation of God so far as I have gone and I will press on to be complete." I will trust and not be afraid. He reminds us that the power to achieve our goals and manifest our desires already resides within us. We do not need to seek it externally, rather, we must learn to access and utilize the power that is already ours. He states, "You have nothing to keep right but yourself. If you keep yourself right, nothing can possibly go wrong with you and you can have nothing to fear." Chapter 8, Consecration. Wattles marks a pivotal point in the journey towards manifesting greatness. Having established the importance of adopting a positive social and individual viewpoint and recognizing our inherent unity with the divine, this chapter focuses on the practical application of these principles through the act of consecration. Consecration, as presented by Wattles, is not a religious ritual but a conscious commitment to aligning our lives with the highest within us, surrendering to the guidance of the divine principle of power that resides at our core. Imagine a powerful river, surging with energy and potential, yet constrained by the narrow banks of a winding channel. Consecration, in essence, is the act of removing those constraints, allowing the river to flow freely, expressing its full power and magnificence. Wattles asserts that each individual possesses this inner power, this divine spark, but that it is often hindered by our habits, fears, and attachments to outdated beliefs and ways of being. He reminds us that true greatness cannot be achieved through intellect or reason alone. While these faculties can be valuable tools, they are ultimately subservient to the soul, the divine spark within us that holds the blueprint for our highest potential. He states, "Intellect and reason serve the selfish man for his selfish ends as readily as they serve the unselfish man for his unselfish ends. Use intellect and reason without regard to principle and you may become known as a very able person, but you will never become known as a person whose life shows the power of real greatness." Consecration, then, is the act of surrendering to this higher power, aligning our thoughts, actions, and intentions with the guidance of the soul. It involves a conscious commitment to living a life of purpose and integrity, striving to express our highest ideals in all that we do. This requires a willingness to let go of limiting beliefs, habits, and behaviors that no longer serve us, even those that may have been ingrained in us for years. Wattles emphasizes the importance of abandoning all forms of negativity and impurity, including lust, greed, pride, envy, and malice. He urges us to rise above the desire to control or dominate others, recognizing that true power comes from within, from our connection to the divine source. He states, "Cast out pride and vanity. Have no thought of trying to rule over others or of outdoing them." This is a vital point. There is no temptation so insidious as the selfish desire to rule over others. Nothing so appeals to the average man or woman as to sit in the uppermost places at feasts, to be respectfully saluted in the marketplace, and to be called rabbi, master. To exercise some sort of control over others is the secret motive of every selfish person. He encourages us to cultivate a spirit of kindness, generosity, and courtesy in all our interactions, recognizing that these qualities are expressions of true greatness. He reminds us that we are not separate from others but rather interconnected beings, all part of the divine whole. He states, "Remember your viewpoint. You are a god in the company of gods and must conduct yourself accordingly." How to practice consecration. 1. Make a conscious commitment to aligning your life with the highest within you. This involves listening to the voice of your soul, the intuitive guidance that whispers to you of your true purpose and potential. 2. Surrender to the divine principle of power that resides at your core. Recognize that you are not alone in your journey, that a higher power is always available to guide and support you. 3. Abandon limiting beliefs, habits, and behaviors that no longer serve you. This may require a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone, to challenge old patterns of thinking and acting. 4. Cultivate a spirit of kindness, generosity, and courtesy in all your interactions. Recognize that these qualities are expressions of true greatness and that by treating others with respect and compassion, you are honoring the divinity within them and within yourself. 5. Live a life of purpose and integrity, striving to express your highest ideals in all that you do. Make choices that align with your values, even when it is difficult, knowing that by doing so, you are strengthening your connection to the divine and manifesting your true potential. Through the practice of consecration, we open ourselves to the full flow of divine power, allowing our inherent greatness to shine forth and illuminating the world around us. Chapter 9, Identification. Wattles invites us to take the ultimate leap of faith, moving beyond the intellectual understanding of our unity with God to the experiential realization of this profound truth. Having laid the groundwork through the cultivation of a right viewpoint, the practice of consecration, and the recognition of our inherent divine nature, this chapter guides us to consciously merge our individual consciousness with the infinite consciousness of God, tapping into the limitless reservoir of wisdom, power, and creativity that flows from this union. Imagine a drop of water falling into the vast expanse of the ocean, dissolving its individual boundaries and becoming one with the boundless sea. This is the essence of identification, the process of merging our limited human consciousness with the infinite consciousness of God. Wattles asserts that we are not separate from God, but rather expressions of the divine, each possessing the same essential qualities and potential. However, our limited human perception often obscures this truth, leading us to believe in our separateness and finiteness. Identification, then, is the act of consciously transcending this limited perception, recognizing our true nature as one with the infinite. It is a process of dissolving the illusion of separation, merging our individual consciousness with the cosmic consciousness that permeates all of creation. Wattles reminds us, man is of one identical stuff with this mind. He proceeded from it, and he can so identify himself with it that he may know what it knows. He emphasizes that this identification is not merely a mental exercise, but a profound shift in consciousness that transforms our entire being. It is a process of aligning our thoughts, feelings, and actions with the divine will, allowing the infinite wisdom and power of God to flow through us and express itself in our lives. He states, your identification of yourself with the infinite must be accomplished by conscious recognition on your part, recognizing it as a fact that there is only God and that all intelligence is in the one substance. Wattles provides a powerful affirmation to facilitate this process of identification. There is only one, and that one is everywhere. I surrender myself to conscious unity with the highest. Not I, but the Father. I will, too, be one with the Supreme and to lead the divine life. I am one with infinite consciousness. There is but one mind, and I am that mind. I that speak unto you am He. This affirmation, repeated with sincerity and conviction, can help to dissolve the illusion of separation and awaken us to the reality of our oneness with God. How to practice identification. 1. Contemplate the nature of God as the infinite, omnipresent consciousness that permeates all of creation. Reflect on the qualities of God: wisdom, power, love, compassion, creativity, and abundance. 2. Recognize that you are an expression of this divine consciousness, possessing these qualities within yourself. Let go of the belief in your separateness and embrace the truth of your oneness with God. 3. Use affirmations and visualizations to strengthen your awareness of this unity. Imagine yourself merging with the infinite light and love of God, feeling the boundaries of your individual self dissolve. 4. Surrender your will to the divine will, allowing God to guide your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Trust that the infinite wisdom and power of God is working through you, leading you to your highest good. 5. Live your life as an expression of the divine, radiating love, compassion, and wisdom in all your interactions. See every person as a manifestation of God, treating them with respect and reverence. Through the practice of identification, we tap into the limitless power and potential that resides within us, becoming conduits for divine love, wisdom, and creativity to flow into the world. Chapter 10, Idealization. Wattles builds upon the foundational principles established in the previous chapters, guiding us to harness the creative power of thought to manifest our desired reality. Having explored the significance of aligning with the divine through consecration and merging with the infinite through identification, this chapter focuses on the practical application of these principles through the process of idealization. Idealization, as presented by Wattles, is not merely wishful thinking or daydreaming, but a deliberate and focused act of shaping reality through the power of thought. It is the process of creating a clear mental image of our desired selves and circumstances, impressing this image upon the formless substance of the universe, and allowing the creative power of God to bring it into manifestation. Imagine a sculptor meticulously shaping a block of clay into a beautiful work of art. This is the essence of idealization, the process of molding our reality through the power of focused thought. Wattles asserts that our thoughts are not mere fleeting entities but potent forces that have the power to create tangible results. He reminds us that we are thinking centers an original substance, the formless essence from which all things are created, and that our thoughts have the power to mold this substance into tangible forms. He states, whatever is formed in its thought and held as a thought form must come into existence as a visible and so-called material form. And a thought form held in thinking substance is a reality. It is a real thing whether it has yet become visible to mortal eye or not. He emphasizes the importance of creating a clear and detailed mental image of our desired outcome, holding this image steadfastly in our minds, and believing with unwavering faith that it is already being realized. He states, if you desire a thing, picture it clearly and hold the picture steadily in mind until it becomes a definite thought form. And if your practices are not such as to separate you from God, the thing you want will come to you in material form. It must do so in obedience to the law by which the universe was created. How to practice idealization. 1. Define your ideal self. Envision yourself as the person you desire to become, embodying the qualities and characteristics you wish to manifest. Imagine yourself living your ideal life, surrounded by the circumstances you desire. 2. Create a vivid and detailed mental picture of your ideal outcome. Make it as real and tangible as possible, engaging all your senses in the process. Feel the emotions you would experience if your ideal were already realized. 3. Hold this mental image steadfastly in your mind, focusing on it daily with unwavering faith and conviction. Do not allow doubt or negative thoughts to cloud your vision. 4. Act in alignment with your ideal. Make choices and take actions that support the manifestation of your vision. See every experience as an opportunity to move closer to your desired outcome. 5. Trust in the creative power of God to bring your ideal into manifestation. Surrender any attachment to the outcome, knowing that the universe is working in perfect harmony to orchestrate the fulfillment of your desires. Through the practice of idealization, we become conscious creators of our reality, shaping our lives and circumstances in alignment with our highest aspirations. It is a process of aligning our thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the divine will, allowing the infinite power of God to flow through us and manifest our dreams into tangible form. Chapter 11, Realization. Wattles acts as a bridge between the inner world of thought and the outer world of action. Building upon the preceding chapter's exploration of aligning with the divine, merging with the infinite, and harnessing the creative power of thought through idealization, this chapter emphasizes the importance of translating these inner transformations into tangible outward expressions. It guides us to bridge the gap between the idealized vision of ourselves and the actual manifestation of that vision in our daily lives. Imagine a seed planted in fertile soil. It contains within it the blueprint for a magnificent tree, but it requires the right conditions and consistent nurturing to grow and flourish. Similarly, the idealized vision of ourselves, carefully cultivated through the process of idealization, needs to be brought to life through consistent action and unwavering faith. Wattles reminds us that simply holding a mental picture of our ideal self is not enough. We must take concrete steps to embody that ideal in our thoughts, words, and actions. He states, if you were to stop with the close of the last chapter, however, you would never become great. You would be indeed a mere dreamer of dreams, a castle builder. 2 things are necessary: first, the making of the thought form, and second, the actual appropriation to yourself of all that goes into and around the thought form. He emphasizes the importance of starting small, doing everything we do with a great spirit, imbuing even the most mundane tasks with the power and purpose of our idealized vision. He encourages us to begin to be great today, in your own home, in your store or office, on the street, everywhere. Simply live in a great way. How to practice realization. 1. Live your ideal now. Do not wait for the perfect circumstances or the right opportunity. Embrace the present moment as the canvas upon which to paint your masterpiece. Act as if you are already the person you desire to become. 2. Infuse every action with greatness. No matter how small or insignificant a task may seem, approach it with the same level of dedication, enthusiasm, and excellence that you would bring to a grand endeavor. 3. Be consistent in your thoughts, words, and actions. Align your outer expressions with the inner transformation you have cultivated through the practice of idealization. Let your every interaction be a reflection of your highest self. 4. Cultivate patience and perseverance. The process of realization takes time and effort. Do not become discouraged if results do not appear overnight. Trust in the divine timing of the universe and continue to nurture your vision with unwavering faith. 5. Embrace every experience as an opportunity for growth. See challenges as opportunities to refine your character and strengthen your resolve. Learn from your mistakes and continue to move forward with unwavering determination. Through the practice of realization, we bridge the gap between the inner and outer worlds, manifesting our idealized vision into tangible form. We become living embodiments of our highest aspirations, radiating the light and power of our true nature in every aspect of our lives. Chapter 12, Hurry and Habit. Wattles addresses two significant impediments to realizing our full potential: the tendency to rush into action driven by fear and anxiety, and the ingrained patterns of thought and behavior that limit our growth. Wattles acknowledges the numerous challenges and pressing concerns we face in our daily lives, from financial obligations and health concerns to social and personal dilemmas. However, he cautions against succumbing to the temptation of hurried action, reminding us that hurry is a manifestation of fear. He assures us that he who fears not has plenty of time, emphasizing that when we act with unwavering faith in our inner guidance, we are always in the right place at the right time. Imagine a skilled archer aiming at a distant target. If the archer's hand trembles with impatience or fear, the arrow will miss its mark. Similarly, when we allow hurry and anxiety to cloud our judgment, we are likely to make hasty decisions that lead us astray from our path. Wattles reminds us that poise and power are inseparably associated. The calm and balanced mind is the strong and great mind. The hurried and agitated mind is the weak one. How to practice patience and overcome hurry. 1. Cultivate a deep sense of trust in the divine process. Remember that you are not alone in your journey. A higher power is working in and through you, orchestrating events and circumstances to support your growth and fulfillment. 2. Practice mindfulness and presence. When you feel yourself becoming anxious or rushed, pause and take a few deep breaths. Bring your attention to the present moment, focusing on your senses and the simple act of breathing. 3. Shift your perspective. Remember that this is a perfect world and that you are a god among gods. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and that even challenges and setbacks are opportunities for growth and learning. 4. Engage in activities that promote calmness and clarity. Spend time in nature, meditate, listen to soothing music, or engage in any activity that helps you to quiet your mind and reconnect with your inner peace. Breaking free from limiting habits. Wattles also addresses the power of habit, acknowledging that our ingrained patterns of thought and behavior can either support or hinder our progress toward greatness. He emphasizes that habit rules us all and that whatever you habitually think yourself to be, that you are. He encourages us to examine our habitual thoughts and beliefs, identifying those that limit our potential and replacing them with those that empower us to become the best versions of ourselves. Think of a gardener tending a garden. If the gardener neglects to weed the garden, the weeds will eventually choke out the desired plants. Similarly, if we allow negative and limiting habits to take root in our minds, they will eventually hinder our growth and prevent us from flourishing. Wattles encourages us to cultivate empowering habits that support our journey toward greatness. How to break free from limiting habits. 1. Become aware of your habitual thoughts and beliefs. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind throughout the day. Notice the patterns in your thinking and identify those that limit your potential. 2. Challenge and replace limiting beliefs. When you catch yourself thinking a negative or limiting thought, challenge its validity. Ask yourself, is this thought truly serving me? Is it based on truth or fear? Replace the limiting thought with a positive and empowering affirmation. 3. Cultivate new empowering habits. Choose thoughts, words, and actions that are in alignment with your idealized vision of yourself. Repeat these new patterns consistently until they become ingrained in your subconscious mind. 4. Seek support and guidance. Surround yourself with people who inspire and uplift you. Seek out mentors or coaches who can help you to identify and overcome your limiting beliefs and habits. By practicing patience, cultivating calmness and trust, and breaking free from limiting habits, we create the fertile ground for our idealized vision to take root and flourish in the outer world. We become masters of our thoughts and actions, shaping our destiny with intention and purpose, and realizing our full potential as beings of infinite power and possibility. Chapter 13, Thought. Wattles places great emphasis on the power of thought as the driving force behind the manifestation of greatness. It builds upon the preceding chapter's exploration of cultivating a harmonious inner world through a positive outlook, a commitment to personal growth, and a conscious identification with the divine. This chapter guides us to harness the transformative power of thought to shape our reality and realize our full potential. Wattles underscores the importance of original thought as the cornerstone of true greatness. He cautions against relying solely on external sources of knowledge and encourages us to engage in deep, independent thinking to develop our own unique perspectives and insights. He states, "Greatness is attained only by the thinking of great thoughts. No man can become great in outward personality until he is great internally, and no man can be great internally until he thinks." Imagine a sculptor working with a block of marble. The sculptor's vision and skill determine the final form the marble will take. Similarly, our thoughts act as the sculptor's chisel, shaping our inner world and influencing the manifestation of our outward reality. Wattles emphasizes that consistent, focused thought is essential for growth and transformation. He challenges us to move beyond passive consumption of information and engage in active, deliberate thinking, stating, "Thinking is the hardest and most exhausting of all labor, and hence many people shrink from it." He encourages us to reflect on the profound truths presented in the previous chapters, urging us to think about them until they are a part of your central idea. This deep contemplation, he asserts, allows us to internalize these principles and integrate them into our very being, transforming our perception of ourselves and the world around us. How to practice thought. 1. Engage in regular contemplation. Dedicate time each day to quiet reflection. Choose a peaceful environment where you can focus your attention inward. 2. Reflect on the principles outlined in the sources. Consider their deeper meaning and how they apply to your own life. 3. Ask yourself thought-provoking questions. What is your unique purpose in life? What are your greatest strengths and how can you develop them further? What are your limiting beliefs and how can you overcome them? 4. Challenge your assumptions. Be willing to question your existing beliefs and consider new perspectives. 5. Explore different areas of knowledge. Read books, articles, and other materials that stimulate your thinking. Attend lectures, workshops, and other events that expose you to new ideas. 6. Engage in meaningful conversations. Discuss your thoughts and ideas with others who inspire and challenge you. 7. Journal your reflections. Writing down your thoughts can help you to clarify your thinking and gain deeper insights. By making conscious, deliberate thought a regular practice, we cultivate the fertile ground from which greatness can spring forth. We develop our capacity for insight, creativity, and wisdom, becoming architects of our own destiny and contributing our unique gifts to the world. Chapter 14, Action at Home. Wattles transitions from the internal work of cultivating a great mind to the external expression of that greatness in our everyday lives. It urges us to translate our lofty thoughts and aspirations into concrete actions, starting within the familiar environment of our homes. Wattles emphasizes that true greatness is not confined to grand stages or extraordinary circumstances but manifests in the way we approach even the most mundane tasks. He states, "Do not merely think that you are going to become great, think that you are great now. Do not think that you will begin to act in a great way at some future time, begin now. Do not think that you will begin to act in a great way when you reach a different environment, act in a great way where you are now." Imagine a master chef preparing a simple meal. Every ingredient is handled with care and precision, every step executed with mastery, transforming ordinary ingredients into a culinary masterpiece. Similarly, when we bring the fullness of our being to each task, no matter how seemingly insignificant, we infuse our actions with greatness, elevating the ordinary into the extraordinary. Wattles reminds us that our home environment offers a fertile training ground for cultivating greatness. He states, "Begin at home. It is a great person who can always be poised, assured, calm, and perfectly kind and considerate at home. If your manner and attitude in your own family are always the best you can think, you will soon become the one on whom all the others will rely." How to practice greatness at home. 1. Cultivate a spirit of kindness and consideration. Treat every member of your household with respect, empathy, and genuine care. Listen attentively to their concerns and offer support without judgment. 2. Practice patience and understanding. Recognize that everyone is on their own unique journey, and avoid the temptation to impose your beliefs or expectations on others. 3. Offer selfless service. Look for opportunities to contribute to the well-being of your family members. Help with household tasks, offer words of encouragement, and celebrate their successes. 4. Maintain a positive and uplifting attitude. Create a harmonious and supportive atmosphere where everyone feels valued and loved. 5. Set a good example. Let your actions speak louder than words. Demonstrate the qualities of greatness you aspire to embody, inspiring others to do the same. 6. Practice self-respect and establish healthy boundaries. While offering service and support to your family members, avoid becoming overly subservient or enabling unhealthy behaviors. Respect your own needs and limits, and encourage others to do the same. By making a conscious effort to embody greatness in our interactions with our families, we create a ripple effect that extends outward, influencing our relationships with friends, colleagues, and the wider community. As we consistently act from a place of love, wisdom, and integrity, we become beacons of light, inspiring others to embrace their own greatness and contribute to the creation of a more just, compassionate, and harmonious world. Chapter 15, Action Abroad. Wattles extends the principles of practicing greatness from the intimate sphere of the home to our interactions with the wider world. It encourages us to carry the inner transformation we have cultivated into our social, professional, and civic engagements, radiating our unique light and inspiring others to do the same. Wattles emphasizes that the same principles that guide us to greatness at home apply to our actions in the world. He reminds us to maintain the right viewpoint, seeing the world as a perfect world where we are gods among gods. He states, "The rules which apply to your action at home must apply to your action everywhere. Never forget for an instant that this is a perfect world and that you are a god among gods. You're as great as the greatest, but all are your equals. Imagine a lighthouse standing tall on a rocky shore. Its powerful beam cuts through the darkness, guiding ships safely to harbor. Similarly, when we embody greatness in our thoughts, words, and actions, we become beacons of light, illuminating the path for others and inspiring them to navigate the challenges of life with courage and purpose." Wattles encourages us to approach every interaction, whether with friends, colleagues, or strangers, with the same spirit of kindness, respect, and consideration that we cultivate at home. He reminds us that true greatness lies not in seeking recognition or power over others but in serving as a source of strength, wisdom, and inspiration. He states, "Rely absolutely on your perception of truth. Trust to the inner light rather than to reason, but be sure that your perception comes from the inner light. Act in poise and calmness, be still and attend on God. Your identification of yourself with the All-Mind will give you all the knowledge you need for guidance in any contingency which may arise in your own life or in the lives of others. It is only necessary that you should be supremely calm and rely upon the eternal wisdom which is within you." How to practice greatness in the world. 1. Maintain a positive and expansive worldview. See the world as a perfect and evolving creation, where every person and every experience contributes to the greater good. 2. Trust your intuition and act with faith and courage. Listen to the whispers of your soul and follow the guidance of your inner wisdom, even when it seems to contradict conventional wisdom. 3. Treat every person with respect and dignity. Recognize the inherent worth and divinity in every individual, regardless of their social status, background, or beliefs. 4. Offer help and support to those in need. Extend a helping hand to those who are struggling, providing guidance, resources, or simply a listening ear. 5. Be a source of inspiration and encouragement. Share your gifts and talents with the world, contributing to the creation of a more beautiful, just, and compassionate society. 6. Maintain your integrity and authenticity. Stay true to your values and principles, and let your actions be a reflection of your highest self. 7. Focus on serving others, not seeking personal gain. Let your primary motivation be to make a positive difference in the world, rather than to accumulate wealth, power, or recognition. 8. Practice patience and understanding. Recognize that change takes time and that not everyone is ready to embrace the principles of greatness. Meet people where they are, offering guidance and support without judgment or coercion. By practicing these principles in our daily interactions, we become agents of positive change, contributing to the upliftment of humanity and the realization of a world where all beings can thrive and fulfill their highest potential. As we radiate our unique light and share our gifts with the world, we inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that spreads outward, transforming lives and shaping a brighter future for all. Chapter 16. Some further explanations. Wattles revisits and expands upon the concept of adopting the right viewpoint, which has been a recurring theme throughout the book. It aims to solidify our understanding of this crucial principle and address potential challenges that might arise as we strive to integrate this transformative perspective into our lives. Wattles acknowledges that shifting our worldview from one of limitation and negativity to one of abundance and possibility can be a significant undertaking. He highlights the influence of societal conditioning and certain religious teachings that have ingrained in many a perception of the world as inherently flawed and destined for destruction. This pessimistic outlook, he asserts, can cripple our hopes for a better future and impede our personal growth. He contrasts this limiting viewpoint with a more empowering perspective, stating, "This is all wrong. The world is not wrecked, it is like a magnificent steamer with the engines in place and the machinery in perfect order. The steamer is out on the high seas tacking hither and thither because no one has yet learned the right course to steer. We are learning to steer, and in due time will come grandly into the harbor of perfect harmony." This analogy invites us to see the world as a powerful vessel equipped with everything needed for a successful voyage. The challenges and imperfections we encounter are not signs of inevitable doom but rather opportunities for learning and growth as we collectively navigate toward a more harmonious future. Embracing this optimistic perspective fosters a mindset of hope, resilience, and empowerment, allowing us to approach life's challenges with greater confidence and purpose. How to practice embracing a more expansive viewpoint. 1. Challenge limiting beliefs and assumptions. Become aware of any negative or pessimistic beliefs you hold about yourself, the world, or humanity. Question their validity and consider alternative, more empowering perspectives. 2. Focus on the good. Make a conscious effort to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of your life and the world around you. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude for the blessings you have received and celebrate the successes of others. 3. See challenges as opportunities for growth. View setbacks and difficulties as valuable learning experiences that can strengthen your resilience and help you evolve into a wiser and more capable individual. 4. Embrace an evolutionary perspective. Recognize that both individuals and society are constantly evolving and that imperfections are an inherent part of the growth process. Trust that we are collectively moving toward a more harmonious and enlightened future. 5. Practice forgiveness. Let go of resentment, anger, and judgment toward yourself and others. Holding on to negativity only perpetuates suffering and hinders personal growth. 6. Cultivate compassion and understanding. Recognize that everyone is on their own unique journey and that we all make mistakes. Approach others with empathy and a willingness to see things from their perspective. 7. Engage in activities that expand your mind and uplift your spirit. Spend time in nature, pursue creative endeavors, connect with like-minded individuals, and explore spiritual practices that resonate with you. Wattles emphasizes the importance of not just intellectually grasping this concept but truly integrating it into our beings, stating, "You have nothing to keep right but yourself. If you keep yourself right, nothing can possibly go wrong with you, and you can have nothing to fear." He urges us to consistently choose thoughts and actions aligned with this empowering worldview, trusting that as we do so, we will inevitably attract positive experiences and contribute to the creation of a better world. By consistently practicing these principles, we gradually shed the limitations of our old perspectives and embrace a more expansive and life-affirming way of being. We become more resilient, compassionate, and effective in navigating the challenges of life and contribute to the collective evolution of consciousness toward a more harmonious and enlightened future. Chapter 17, More About Thought. Wattles builds upon the foundation laid in previous chapters, focusing on the transformative power of thought and providing further guidance on how to cultivate a mindset conducive to greatness. The author emphasizes that thought is the driving force behind all outward manifestation and that our habitual thoughts shape our reality. Wattles invites us to imagine our minds as fertile gardens. The thoughts we plant and nurture in these gardens will determine the quality of the fruits we harvest. If we sow seeds of negativity, limitation, and fear, our lives will reflect these qualities. However, if we cultivate thoughts of positivity, abundance, and courage, we will reap a harvest of joy, success, and fulfillment. The author stresses the importance of original thought, urging us to move beyond simply absorbing information from external sources and engage in independent thinking. He states, "Greatness is attained only by the thinking of great thoughts. No man can become great in outward personality until he is great internally, and no man can be great internally until he thinks." He cautions against relying solely on reading or studying without engaging in deep reflection, emphasizing that true growth comes from pondering great questions and wrestling with complex ideas. How to practice cultivating great thoughts. 1. Dedicate time for reflection. Set aside time each day to engage in quiet contemplation, pondering the principles discussed in the book and exploring your own thoughts and beliefs. 2. Engage in meaningful conversations. Seek out conversations with individuals who inspire you to think deeply and challenge your perspectives. Discuss important issues and explore different viewpoints. 3. Study inspiring works. Immerse yourself in books, articles, and other materials that uplift your spirit and provoke thoughtful consideration of profound topics. 4. Challenge conventional thinking. Don't be afraid to question commonly held beliefs or assumptions. Seek out alternative perspectives and explore new ways of understanding the world. 5. Focus on solutions, not problems. When faced with challenges, direct your energy toward finding solutions rather than dwelling on the negativity of the situation. 6. Practice gratitude. Take time each day to appreciate the blessings in your life. Cultivating a mindset of gratitude helps to shift your focus away from negativity and attract more positive experiences. 7. Visualize your ideal self. Create a clear mental picture of the person you aspire to be, embodying all the qualities and accomplishments you desire. Regularly visualize yourself living as this ideal version of yourself. Wattles reminds us that our thoughts are not merely abstract entities but powerful forces that shape our reality. He states, environment is the result of thought. Things group themselves or arrange themselves around you according to your thought. By consistently choosing to focus on thoughts of positivity, abundance, and possibility, we create a mental atmosphere that attracts positive experiences and supports our journey toward greatness. This chapter emphasizes the importance of sincerity in our thinking, urging us to examine our motivations and ensure that our actions are aligned with our highest ideals. Wattles states, to think great things you must be absolutely sincere, and to be sincere you must know that your intentions are right. Insincere or false thinking is never great, however logical and brilliant it may be. He cautions against engaging in superficial affirmations or repeating empty phrases without genuine conviction. The author highlights the importance of recognizing our inherent connection to the divine, stating, the fact of his own complete unity with God is one that no person can grasp without deep and sustained thinking. he encourages us to contemplate this profound truth until we experience a deep and visceral understanding of our oneness with the source of all creation. Wattles concludes this chapter with a compelling quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson: "Think, think, think." This simple yet profound directive serves as a powerful reminder that consistent and deliberate thought is the key to unlocking our potential and manifesting greatness in our lives. By diligently practicing the principles outlined in this chapter, we can cultivate a mindset that empowers us to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and positive impact on the world. Chapter 18: Jesus' Idea of Greatness. Wattles explores the concept of true greatness as defined by Jesus' teachings, contrasting it with the conventional notion of power and dominion over others. Wattles argues that Jesus presented a radically different path to greatness, one rooted in service, humility, and a deep understanding of our inherent equality as expressions of the divine. Wattles begins by examining a passage from the 3rd chapter of Matthew, where Jesus distinguishes between the outward righteousness of the Pharisees and a more profound understanding of greatness. While acknowledging the Pharisees' adherence to religious law and social norms, Jesus criticizes their desire for recognition, status, and authority over others. He contrasts this with his own teaching: "He that will be great among you, let him serve." Wattles notes that the conventional understanding of greatness often revolves around the accumulation of power, wealth, and influence, leading to a hierarchical structure where individuals strive to climb to the top, often at the expense of others. This, he argues, is the principle of the Pharisee, a mindset that perpetuates competition, conflict, and ultimately, a diminished sense of shared humanity. He illustrates this point by referencing historical figures like Napoleon, whose brilliance and military prowess were ultimately overshadowed by his ambition and lust for power, preventing him from achieving true greatness. In contrast, Jesus' teachings emphasize the inherent worth and dignity of every individual, regardless of their social standing or material possessions. True greatness, according to Jesus, is not found in wielding power over others but in recognizing our interconnectedness and serving one another with humility and compassion. Wattles cites the example of Abraham Lincoln, whose enduring legacy stems not from his political achievements but from his unwavering commitment to serving the greater good and upholding the principles of equality and justice. How to practice embracing Jesus' idea of greatness. 1. Shift your focus from self-promotion to service. Seek opportunities to contribute to the well-being of others without seeking recognition or reward. Engage in acts of kindness, generosity, and compassion in your daily interactions. 2. Practice humility and avoid seeking the uppermost seats. Resist the temptation to compare yourself to others or seek validation through external measures of success. Focus on developing your character and contributing to the world in a meaningful way. 3. Cultivate a deep respect for all individuals. Recognize the inherent worth and dignity of every person you encounter, regardless of their social standing, beliefs, or background. 4. Listen attentively and practice empathy. Seek to understand others' perspectives and experiences, even if they differ from your own. Offer support and encouragement without judgment or condemnation. 5. Embrace the principles of forgiveness and reconciliation. Let go of resentment and anger toward those who have wronged you. Seek opportunities to heal relationships and foster understanding. Wattles cautions against the pitfalls of both excessive self-sacrifice and the temptation to control or manipulate others. He emphasizes that true service is not about becoming a martyr or neglecting our own needs but about finding a balance between caring for ourselves and contributing to the well-being of others. He reminds us that the ideal world is not one where there are a lot of people being waited on by other people. It is a world where everybody waits on himself. By embracing Jesus' teachings on greatness, we can transform our lives and contribute to the creation of a more just and compassionate world. We can move beyond the limitations of ego-driven ambition and embrace a path of service, humility, and love, recognizing that true fulfillment lies in recognizing our interconnectedness and contributing to the well-being of all. Chapter 19, A View of Evolution. Wattles encourages a shift in perspective, urging readers to view the world through the lens of evolution, recognizing both its inherent perfection and its ongoing journey toward completion. Wattles argues that embracing an evolutionary perspective can transform our understanding of the world, our relationships with others, and ultimately, our own potential for greatness. Wattles begins by challenging the conventional notion of a world marred by flaws and imperfections. Wattles contends that the world is not broken or decaying but rather a magnificent work in progress, constantly evolving and advancing toward a state of greater harmony and completeness. He uses the analogy of a grand steamship, fully equipped and provisioned, sailing the high seas. The ship may experience turbulence and occasional deviations from its course, but it is ultimately moving toward its destination. Similarly, the world may exhibit temporary discord and imbalances, but these are merely incidental to the grand evolutionary process, not indicative of any inherent flaw in the design. Wattles emphasizes that everything in the universe, from the smallest organism to the most complex social structures, is a manifestation of the divine creative force and therefore inherently good. He states, "Nothing is wrong with nature. Nature is a great advancing presence working beneficially for the happiness of all. All things in nature are good." He encourages readers to adopt this perspective, viewing even seemingly negative or challenging aspects of life as necessary components of the evolutionary journey. This evolutionary perspective extends to our understanding of human society and individuals. Wattles argues that we should view people not as flawed or fallen beings but as perfect expressions of the divine in their current stage of development. He states, "There are no bad or evil people. There are perfectly good people who are off the track, but they do not need condemnation or punishment, they only need to get upon the rails again." He encourages readers to cultivate a compassionate and understanding attitude toward others, recognizing that everyone is on their own unique path of growth and evolution. How to practice embracing an evolutionary perspective. 1. Cultivate a mindset of appreciation and acceptance. Practice seeing the beauty and perfection in all things, even those that may appear imperfect or challenging. 2. Focus on the positive aspects of life. Direct your attention toward the good in the world and in people. Celebrate progress and acknowledge efforts toward growth and improvement. 3. Practice patience and understanding. Recognize that change and growth take time. Be patient with yourself and others as you navigate the challenges of life and the complexities of human relationships. 4. Engage in constructive action. While accepting the world as it is, also recognize your role in contributing to its evolution. Seek opportunities to make a positive difference in your community and the world at large. Wattles emphasizes the importance of aligning our personal attitudes with the grand evolutionary purpose of the universe. He states, "Nothing can possibly be wrong but my personal attitude, and I will make that right. I will see the facts of nature and all the events, circumstances, and conditions of society, politics, government, and industry from the highest viewpoint. It is all perfect, though incomplete, it is all the handiwork of God. Behold, it is all very good." Wattles also addresses the common human struggle with feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Wattles encourages readers to recognize their inherent divinity, stating, "You are already one with God, you want to become consciously aware of it. There is one substance, the source of all things, and this substance has within itself the power which creates all things. All power is inherent in it. This substance is conscious and thinks. It works with perfect understanding and intelligence. By acknowledging our inherent connection to the divine source, we can tap into the unlimited potential that resides within each of us. By embracing an evolutionary perspective, we can liberate ourselves from fear, judgment, and negativity, opening ourselves to a world of infinite possibility and empowering ourselves to live a life of purpose, growth, and contribution to the ongoing evolution of the universe." Chapter 20, Serving God. Wattles challenges conventional notions of religious service, arguing that true service to God lies not in outward rituals or acts of self-sacrifice but in fully expressing our divine potential and contributing to the ongoing evolution of the universe. This chapter builds upon the ideas presented in previous chapters, particularly the concepts of an evolving universe and our inherent unity with the divine source. Wattles begins by examining the traditional understanding of serving God, often associated with religious practices, ceremonies, and acts of charity. He argues that while these activities may hold value, they do not represent the essence of true service. Referencing the biblical account of Moses leading the Hebrews out of Egypt to serve God, Wattles points out that the emphasis on outward forms of worship often obscures the deeper meaning of serving the divine. Wattles contends that God, as the infinite source of all creation, does not lack anything that humans can provide through physical actions or material offerings. He states, God does not lack anything that men may do for him with their hands or bodies or voices. Instead, he proposes that the true service of God lies in aligning ourselves with the divine purpose, which is to continuously express and expand through all of creation. Wattles argues that God's expression is most fully realized through humanity, as we possess the capacity for conscious thought, creativity, and moral and spiritual growth. He emphasizes that the divine urge within us is constantly impelling us toward greater self-realization and a more harmonious and fulfilling life. This inherent drive toward growth and evolution is evident in our desires for better living conditions, meaningful work, creative expression, and spiritual understanding. Therefore, serving God is not about pleasing a separate, external deity but about fulfilling our own highest potential and contributing to the advancement of humanity and the universe as a whole. Wattles states, the only service you can render God is to give expression to what He is trying to give the world through you. The only service you can render God is to make the very most of yourself in order that God may live in you to the utmost of your possibilities. How to practice serving God. 1. Embrace your unique talents and abilities. Identify your strengths and passions and seek ways to develop and express them fully. 2. Strive for excellence in all that you do. Approach every task, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, with a spirit of dedication and a desire to do your best. 3. Contribute to the well-being of others. Seek opportunities to use your gifts and talents to serve your community and the world at large. 4. Cultivate a mindset of continuous growth and learning. Embrace new experiences, challenge limiting beliefs, and expand your knowledge and understanding. 5. Live in alignment with your highest ideals. Strive to embody the qualities of love, compassion, justice, and integrity in your thoughts, words, and actions. Wattles emphasizes that serving God is not about denying our personal needs or sacrificing our well-being for the sake of others. Rather, it is about finding a harmonious balance between self-care and contributing to the greater good. He states, you cannot help your family by being a slave to them or by doing for them those things which by right they should do for themselves. You do a person an injury when you wait on him too much. By embracing our role as expressions of the divine and living in alignment with our highest potential, we fulfill our true purpose as human beings and contribute to the ongoing evolution of the universe, thus serving God in the most profound and meaningful way. Chapter 21, A Mental Exercise. Wattles provides a practical guide for aligning our thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the principles of greatness outlined in the preceding chapters. This chapter emphasizes the transformative power of thought and offers a structured mental exercise designed to cultivate a mindset conducive to personal growth and the manifestation of our highest ideals. Wattles emphasizes that true greatness is not achieved through superficial affirmations or wishful thinking but through a deep and sustained commitment to aligning our inner world with the principles of divine truth. He states, greatness is attained only by the thinking of great thoughts. No man can become great in outward personality until he is great internally, and no man can be great internally until he thinks. Wattles cautions against the common tendency to rely on external sources of knowledge and guidance, emphasizing the importance of cultivating our own capacity for independent thought. Wattles states, you are not mentally developed by what you read but by what you think. Think about what you read. Thinking is the hardest and most exhausting of all labor, and hence many people shrink from it. He encourages readers to engage in deep and critical thinking, exploring the fundamental truths about the nature of reality, human relationships, and our own potential for greatness. The mental exercise presented in this chapter serves as a tool for cultivating a mindset aligned with the principles of a perfect, evolving universe and our inherent unity with the divine source. The exercise involves a series of affirmations and visualizations designed to reprogram our subconscious beliefs and align our thoughts and actions with our highest ideals. How to practice the mental exercise. 1. Find a quiet and comfortable space. Choose a time and location where you can relax without distractions. Lie down or sit comfortably in a chair, closing your eyes if you prefer. 2. Relax your body and mind. Begin by consciously relaxing each part of your body, releasing any tension or stress. Allow your mind to become still and receptive. 3. Affirm your well-being and connection to the divine. Repeat the affirmations provided in the chapter, focusing on your physical health, mental clarity, and spiritual alignment. Examples of affirmations include: my nerves are in perfect order all over my body. They obey my will, and I have great nerve force. My heart is beating strongly and steadily, and my circulation is perfect, even to the extremities. God, who is within me, is also in all things I want, impelling them toward me. All that I want is already given to me. 4. Visualize your ideal self. Create a clear and detailed mental picture of yourself as you desire to be, embodying the qualities of greatness you wish to cultivate. See yourself as confident, capable, compassionate, and successful in all areas of your life. 5. Affirm your alignment with the divine purpose. Acknowledge your role in the grand evolutionary plan of the universe. Affirm your willingness to serve as an instrument of the divine will, expressing your unique talents and contributing to the greater good. 6. Practice consistently. Make this mental exercise a regular part of your daily routine. The more you engage in these thoughts and visualizations, the more deeply they will become ingrained in your subconscious mind, shaping your beliefs and influencing your actions. Wattles emphasizes the importance of approaching this mental exercise with sincerity and understanding. He states, the purpose of mental exercises is to repeat certain thoughts over and over until the thinking of those thoughts becomes constant and habitual. The thoughts we continually repeat become convictions. By consistently practicing this mental exercise, we can cultivate a mindset that supports our growth and empowers us to manifest our highest potential in the world. This chapter serves as a reminder that the journey toward greatness begins within, with the conscious cultivation of thoughts and beliefs that align with the principles of divine truth and the evolutionary purpose of the universe. Chapter 22, A Summary of the Science of Being Great. A summary of the science of being great serves as a powerful culmination of the principles and practices outlined throughout the book. This chapter provides a concise yet comprehensive overview of the key concepts, encouraging readers to integrate these teachings into their lives and embark on a journey of continuous growth and self-realization. The foundation of greatness. The chapter reiterates the fundamental premise that all individuals are created from the same intelligent substance, the source of all life and power, and therefore possess the same inherent potential for greatness. Wattles reminds us that greatness is equally inherent in all and may be manifested by all. This concept challenges limiting beliefs about inherited traits or predetermined destinies, empowering individuals to transcend circumstances and achieve their highest aspirations. The role of thought and action. Wattles emphasizes the crucial role of thought in shaping our reality, stating that greatness is attained only by the thinking of great thoughts. He urges readers to engage in sustained and continuous thought, focusing on the truths about human potential, the nature of the universe, and our relationship to the divine source. However, he also stresses the importance of translating thought into action, stating that no great action is possible until a great thought has preceded it. The path to greatness. The chapter outlines a clear path for cultivating greatness, encompassing the following key steps. 1. Recognize the inherent goodness and perfection of the universe. Embrace the understanding that the world is evolving toward greater harmony and completeness, and that all individuals, regardless of appearances, are perfect in their current stage of development. 2. Consecrate yourself to the highest within. Dedicate yourself to living in alignment with your most noble ideals, guided by the inner light of your soul. 3. Consciously identify with the divine source. Affirm your unity with the infinite intelligence and power that permeates all of creation. 4. Idealize yourself as great. Create a clear mental picture of yourself embodying the qualities you wish to cultivate, and hold this vision with unwavering faith. 5. Realize your ideal through action. Express your greatness in every thought, word, and deed, making each action, however small, a reflection of your highest self. Putting the science of being great into action. 1. Embrace the power of thought. Engage in regular reflection and contemplation, focusing on the truths about human potential and the nature of reality. 2. Cultivate a positive mindset. Focus on the good in yourself, others, and the world around you. Replace negative thoughts with affirmations of your own worth and the inherent goodness of all creation. 3. Act with purpose and intention. Approach every task with a spirit of excellence, striving to make each action a reflection of your highest ideals. 4. Serve others with love and compassion. Seek opportunities to use your gifts and talents to contribute to the well-being of your community and the world at large. 5. Live in alignment with your values. Make choices that reflect your highest aspirations and contribute to a more just, harmonious, and fulfilling world. 6. Practice the mental exercise. Regularly engage in the mental exercise described in Chapter 21 to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the principles of greatness. By embracing these principles and practices, individuals can unlock their inherent potential and become powerful forces for good in the world, contributing to the ongoing evolution of the universe and the realization of a brighter future for all. Thank you for listening. I hope this content is useful to you. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support our team.